What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are outside Stage 48. It is so great to have this venue up and running again. And what a great lineup. Black Dahlia, Murder, Flesh God, Apocalypse, Whitechapel. And we are here with Shadow of Intent. Thank you guys so much for your time.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Yeah. It's so awesome to have you guys here. Reclaimers, easily one of my favorite records of 2017. How has the reception for it and the recording for it and everything been?
Pretty awesome. Can't complain. A lot of positive feedback from everyone. Not a lot of negative feedback, but it could just be because the negative people haven't heard it yet. So on this tour, we're hoping to change that. Make sure everyone hears it.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I was curious about with the record is there's symphonic elements in there. There's some deathcore elements. There's some progressive elements. Did you guys have an intention of making an experimental record, or did it just end up that way?
Definitely didn't want to fit into any particular genre. We don't believe in pigeonholing ourselves into any particular genre, It's a metal record. It's not supposed to be really anything other than a metal record. Just trying to cover all the different stuff we like all in one record.
Awesome. That is the sound of New York City right there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sound.
Yeah. Now, being that there's so many different instrumental elements in your music, does it start off with drums, or do you do you have a concept in mind and you write according to that? How does the songwriting process work?
Every song just starts with one riff or one drum beat, and then if I start with a riff, I have to figure out the drum beat that goes with it. If it starts with a drum beat, figure out a riff that goes with it. And then from there, I can fill in the bass and any synth that would go along with that, and then go on to the next riff. And then I'll always, or 95% of the time, I'll keep the key of the song the same and the tempo of the song the same, and I'll keep going along that flow until I have the first draft of the song. And then after that, we might change up the draft or add vocals first and change up the draft later. Can go anywhere from there, but it all starts with that first instrumental.
What was that?
Some guy.
Yeah. Oh. Now, on the record, I know that you had some guest musicians on there, so that obviously had to allow to bring in some other elements, right?
Yeah. There's some guys that we've been looking forward to working with for a little while, so I figured I'd contact them and get them in on the record, make it a little more fun rather than just straight serious,
Absolutely. Now, the last time you guys came here, you were playing with Carnifex and Oceano, more of a deathcore style show, and then this time you're with Black Dahlia, Murder, Flesh God, Apocalypse, and a lot of different death metal bands. So do you notice maybe a different type of audience on this tour as opposed to the last one?
Absolutely. The crowd reaction to Shadow of Intent this tour has been drastically different than we were receiving on Chaos and Carnage. I think this time, not only just the factor of the amount of people that are at these shows compared to the last one, but I think that this is much more of kind of where we fit in on this kind of tour.
Yeah. Well, I thought your music is so experimental that you could, with the symphonic elements, I could almost see you on a tour with, Epica or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Chris, one thing I was curious about is I know that you also play with Currents. So I was wondering how different of a mind frame or songwriting process it is with Currents as opposed to Shadow of Intent.
So Currents, pretty much same thing. We'll start with a drum beat or a riff, form the song around that. There won't be synth involved in that case, but the two bands play in different tunings, so I use completely different guitars for those bands. So I don't really, it's easy to know what band I'm writing for because it's what guitar I pick out at the beginning.
And with working with Currents, does that maybe allow you to bring in some newer elements of Shadow of Intent or vice versa?
I've been trying to make the two more and more different as time goes on. I've been trying to keep Shadow of Intent getting more and more metal and trying to get Currents almost less metal and more ambient or groovy, trying to, bring more and more into both.
Awesome. And the final question I want to have is, now that Reclaimer's almost a year old, could we be expecting anything new with Shadow of Intent, or any new music, tours, if it's touring, anything you're allowed to say on camera?
Well, we're definitely working on new music. We're always working on new music. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I don't know if I would expect anything this year, but something might happen. We'll see.
All right. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. It's great to have you here. Everybody, we are here with Shadow of Intent. Be sure to pick up their record, Reclaimer. It is absolutely brutal. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.